Hey, what's up, guys? Everyone here, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about Dancing with Wolves, the film. It stars Kevin Costner, Mary McDonnell, Graham Greene, Rodney A. Grant, Floyd Red, Crow Westerman, Tantoo, Cardinal, and it deals with Lieutenant John J. Dunbar, who is portrayed by Kevin Costner. And this film is also Kevin Costner's first directed film, and he produced it also, and he is also lead, so he had a lot on his plate when he did this film. I think he also went over budget, and it was yeah, he was getting a lot of slack from the studio because not just going over budget but also going over schedule. And the character John J. Dunbar, he's a lieutenant in the United States Union Army, and it takes place during the time of the Civil War, and he does a valiant act that wins the battle for his side, and he gets he has a choice to either get posted wherever he wants, and he decides to get posted in the frontier. And at that time period, the frontier was basically occupied by Native Americans, and many of the areas weren't settled. So you had a really pristine, natural scenery that comes out in this film. Very beautiful scenery. I was just blown away with the beauty of the Midwest. Now Kevin Costner does a really good job portraying his character. He really delivers as a Union soldier. He delivers also those moments where he is isolated by himself. He's the only one who is basically majority of the time Caucasian, and throughout the entire film there's only some other Caucasians, but I'll speak about them later on. I also want to touch on the Native Americans. They do justice in this film with the Native Americans. Kevin Costner shows the different ways and philosophies that each tribe has. There's 3 tribes that are represented in this film. There's the Sioux, there's the Pony, and there's other ones that are not mentioned, but they're trackers, and they help the Northern Union Army. Excuse me about that. And you see Dunbar just grow from being a soldier to actually being somebody who understands and learns the ways of the Sioux, to communicate with them, to see them as human beings and not so much as savages. And the same thing with the Sioux. The Sioux start seeing the Dunbar not just as a white guy, but actually as a human being, as they are a human being. And that relationship just blossomed, especially with Mr. Graham Greene's character, who is his name is Kicking Foot or Kicking Feet or something like that. Kicking Bird. There you go, Kicking Bird. And their relationship becomes very important in this film. And I just love the way it just grows, the way they first start communicating, the way they mess up with one another, and they get to learn their customs. I think that was done very well. Cinematography, again, beautiful. It was done excellent. Story-wise, also, it was very well done, executed. The only thing I have just these 2 issues with the film, and I'm going to speak about them later on. Another thing that I really loved about this film was just the detail work when it came to not just the Native Americans, but also the Southern and Northern armies that they were fighting each other. It was the weapons that they used. They looked so much that they came out from that time period. Literally, when you see this film, it feels like you actually went back in time and you're in that time period during the Civil War. Well, my 2 cons, you could say negatives about this film is, first of all, the way that I guess you could say the Caucasians are represented in this film. You only see 2 or 3 Caucasians who were basically decent people, or people who were humane with one another and also with the Native Americans. The rest of them were basically just criminals or crazy people that you didn't understand why they were crazy, or you didn't understand why they were just criminals. They just were. They just come and go. That's the thing that I guess I would love to see more of the Union soldiers be portrayed as human beings instead of just, crazy white people. No offense, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any Caucasians or anybody who at that time period had any ancestors who fought in the Civil War. Not trying to. It's just I felt like that. I felt like I would have loved to see the Union soldiers or the Southern soldiers be portrayed a little bit more humanistic than actually just one-dimensional, two-dimensional individuals. Other than Kevin Costner's character, Kevin Costner's character grows and his arc just gets better and better and better, and you understand why he befriends the Sioux. You understand why he's there. You understand his duties and obligations, and that's great. But the rest of the Union soldiers, they were just kind of like these just two-dimensional, one-dimensional characters. I think another thing that that I also didn't approve of, and I was like, man, they could have done this film without that scene, but for apparent reason, they decided to put that scene. Is basically the soft porn scene between Kevin Costner's and Mary McDonnell's character. I just feel like you could have done this film without that scene, and you could have portrayed their feelings for one another without it being there. And that's the only reason I wouldn't recommend this film to the family. It's just that one scene. Like once you see Kevin Costner with Mary McDonnell, which is standing fist, and John J. Dunbar. Once you see them by themselves alone in the tent or in the canoe, in the Native American tent, which is the technical term. I think it's called. Well, forget the technical term. Once you see them by themselves in that type of environment, it's better to fast forward. I recommend you fast forward because you really don't need to see that, and it doesn't really play to the film. Mary McDonnell did a really amazing performance. She does an awesome performance. She is a character that is kind of like a bridge between Kevin Costner's character and the Sioux. And the way she speaks English, it shows that her character, which is Standing Fist, hasn't spoken English for a long time, and the way she speaks, you automatically tell it. You're like, oh, there's something about this character that I would like to know about her, and you do know a little bit more about her, and you believe her. You believe her as she is a Sioux, and you see her as a Sioux. You don't see her as a white woman trying to be Native American. You see her as a Sioux, and the way she speaks the dialect of the Sioux is superb. She just mastered that dialect. I don't know how long she was practicing the words that she was saying, but it was dead on. I was like, whoa, Mary McDonnell, man, she did. I was surprised. I know Mary McDonnell from different films, for example, Independence Day, and also Battlestar Galactica. She came on in those. Battlestar Galactica was a television show, but I seen her work, but in this one she delivered. She really did. Graham Greene also, he delivered as a wise man or holy man of the tribe, and you see that relationship between Kevin Costner and him, and also the other character which is played by Grant. His character, when you first start off seeing him, he has that kind of like shield up towards the Caucasian people or the white man, and you see him also grow to this individual. And the way I can say about this film is that there's two versions. There's the long version, which I haven't seen the long version. If you have seen the long version, please send in your comments about it. Do you recommend seeing it or not? Because I think the long version is like 4.5 minutes, 4 hours long. And the shorter version is like 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours and a half. So I would like to get your point of view about that. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have an awesome day. God bless you, and I'll see you when I'll see you. Bye.